Hey, my name's Paul Manning. I'm an undercover police officer. I infiltrated the Mafia and the Hells Angels at the same time. Wrote a book about it, 1078, and I'm chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Paul. You said another cop told him that you were an undercover agent.
Way down, long into the operation. So 2 or 3 days after I moved into the apartment, we had there was a party at Pescaro's at this bar eatery. There was a party, and that's when I met all the mafioso for the first time. That's when I met the wise guys. I went to this party, and I was a complete unknown. And looking back, it's probably the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life to walk into this bar, because they're all cooked up, and then I'm trying to mingle as much as you can without looking like a cop. And then a Winnebago, the big camper vans, comes screaming down the road. I'm outside on a cigarette, comes screaming down the road, and the brakes slam on. There's smoke everywhere. And there's obviously loads of guys in the back because you hear them fall about, go, fuck Lou. And Lou's driving. And he gets out. He's a prospect at the time. And he gets out. And they all get out the back. And it's the entire, it's the majority of the HA crew for Hamilton. And they come in. So the Mafia are there, the HA are there, and I'm there. City councillors and the like. And, people that shouldn't really be there. And I partied. And I think I was in a place where I was so stressed and pissed off with the unprofessionalism since so far in the short time that we've been doing this. And one of the backers, a guy called Bubba, likes to drink, big guy. And he won't let me drink normally. He wanted me to drink whiskey. You're English, you drink whiskey. And there's certain techniques that we use when we're undercover not to drink, but make it look like we're drinking. And he didn't give me that opportunity. And I was wasted. I was pretty drunk. So by the end of the night, I'm on a table dancing my shirt off with Hells Angels, and it just fit. It all came together in that one evening. Everybody knew who I was. I told everyone I was called English. It changed to the Englishman, but it just completely fit. So we found ourselves in a position where we were in the thick of things. I lived there. I traded there, as in drugs, smoke, stolen goods, anything I could get my hands on. I'd pretend that I'd stole it, or we found it some other way. And we found ourselves in a position where we were into everybody, and I mean everybody. And it opened up a number of doors because everyone wants to do business with you if you're making money.
Yeah.
And there's always that suspicion there, and there's always the person who comes up to you and goes, you know what, you come from nowhere, you could be a cop. And you're like, yeah, it's better than people think I'm a rat. So if I'm a rat, I'm dead. If I'm a cop, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, I know what they're going to do, but it's not going to be prolonged. It's going to be quick. So we were very fortunate. We got, and I can tell you this because it's never going to be a play again. We made a contact down at CBSA, so on the border, and we're quite close to the border in Hamilton. We're like 20 minutes away from Niagara Falls, and they started supplying us with cigarettes that have been seized, and cigarettes are very, very tradable commodity. So I started buying drugs with cigarettes. I started buying stolen property with cigarettes. I put us in a position where we were spending no money on this project. So they didn't have to put a project fund together to go and say, listen, we need this much money, we need this much money. I paid for everything with cigarettes. I'd also have times where I had no money and I was begging for money and trying to borrow. And then I had times where people owed me a hell of a lot of money. So we were probably, when the operation finished, throughout the city, we were probably owed about $60,000. That's how many moves we were making, and it became an issue for the provincial police, the state police, because we were making so much money. There's no bookkeeping for a police service where you actually make money. If you make money, you're supposed to pay tax on it, whether it's illegally made or not. You're supposed to pay taxes on it, and that became a real bugbear for the OPP because they're like, you can't keep making this much money because we're going to have to pay tax on this. We're going to have to show it. We were into everybody. We probably had about 3,000 offences on well over 200 people.
So, but your time doing this, is there anybody that you busted in the past that has come around?
No, because this is the beautiful thing. I come from the UK.
No, I mean, once you go there and you start doing those buys, the buy bus.
We didn't do buy bus. So we did test purchases. We didn't bust them. So there's no.
Oh no, the cold calls, right?
Yeah. So the cold calls are effectively buy bus to test purchases. So usually I come up to you in the street. I go, "Can you sort me out?" You either tell me to fuck off or you give me a 40 piece, and I take my crack and I skip off, and then you smile because you just made $40, and then 4 burly officers jump on top of you and put you in handcuffs. Okay. With this, what we did was we followed people off because we didn't want to burn the fact this was a UC operation, because we weren't getting refused. So why put it on the street that there's this UC going around arresting everybody with an English accent? So we put it out there that that we'd follow these people off, we'd create a case file, and then we'd arrest them at a later date. And it worked pretty well. I think there's only like 4 or 5 people that didn't identify. And even now, I think there's only one person we don't know who it was way back then. And that was a Hispanic guy called Tony. We never found out who this guy was. We could never get him on a buy. He'd just send runners out all the time. So I finally decided if they wanted him out and they wanted to dump him, we'd throw a big buy in. So I'd offer like 3-4 grand on a purchase, because he's not going to trust a runner with that. It's not going to happen. That's the only way to get him out. And he came out, and unfortunately, he saw the coveting and bolted.
Did he get away?
He got away, yeah. We didn't ID him. And even if we'd have ID'd him, it wouldn't matter. There was no evidence tying him to drugs.
So now your time doing this, do you eventually get invited into the clubhouse?
Well, I went to the clubhouse a couple of times. I went to their illegal booze cans as well a couple of times. Nice facilities. They spend some money on these places. The HA was running them. The Mafia was running them all the time. Then I started to get introduced to the older guys, and I found myself in a position where you've got guys that were 70 years old that have been mobsters. The Paley family, for instance, they've been mobsters. They've been on the street 53 years working, never been arrested. I just walk into their houses, pour myself a brandy and sit down and start watching TV with them, and then walk out. Sometimes I'd never talk to them. I maybe say hello. And we got to that stage where they just didn't care that I was around. But they wanted their piece. And they're like, what are you moving today? Oh, I've got some brandy. Okay, you bring the brandy here. No, I've got to buy it. No, I wasn't asking. You bring the brandy here. Okay, fair enough, yeah. Right, it's great evidence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the brandy cost us. So the brandy, the alcohol, that cost. But I subsidised it with the cigarettes, selling the cigarettes. So the CBSA were really good. They really helped us out in this op, even though they had no idea what was going on.
Any of these guys, did you ever feel bad for, like, you're about to bust these guys, you know it? Are you like, damn, I feel bad for doing this?
No, that's the job. And I've listened to other UCs, and they say, oh, I had a soft spot for this guy, or I had this guy. When we're going to take him down, I'll tell the guys to be a little rougher. No, I didn't care. I didn't put them in that position. It was just my job to make sure that you got to understand, Bill. I mean, there's a romanticism around the Mafia. However, these guys would walk into an Italian club, say, that have been there 30 years, same owner, and he's running it, and he's hardly making any money. He does it for the socialization. And they just walk in and go, you're fucking done. And he's like, what? It's our place now, go. And they use it as their social club until they burn into the ground, and then they go move on to another. The protection rackets, again, they don't target drug dealers or the Hells Angels or other Mafia families. They target people that can't stand up to these people. So at the end of the day, they're mostly bullies, as far as I'm concerned. I don't like bullies. So, I mean, there's characters that I miss hanging out with just because of the trouble we got into. There's characters I miss going to the casino with because of the trouble we got into. We were barred from the Fallsview Casino. We were barred from another casino. We were nearly barred from Brantford Casino for fighting with the security. I could hang out with these guys again, but it won't be the same. There's nothing in common between us.
Yeah.
So no, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for the guy that's speeding outside of school. I give a ticket to. It's just a job. It's we've got rules. If you don't like the rules, run for office and change the rules.
So when you're hanging around with these guys, do they ever ask you to be a part of this club?
What, the Hells
The
Angels?
Hells- Yeah.
No. We got burnt pretty early with the Hells Angels. So there was an attempt on my life. It was 4 bangers turn up to try and kill me.
Can you walk me through that?
So I'm in a mob bar. It's called CD Martini's. Just having a drink, and then 2 brothers come in called the Reardon brothers, and they're probably I've been around serial killers. I've been around rapists. I've been around all these nice people. That it was either Tommy or Shane. I can't remember. But when you looked in his eyes, it was vacant. There was nothing there. There was no compassion. This was a true psychopath. Okay. But I bought off him. He was one of Tony's runner, the guy that got away. I bought off him maybe 12 times, 15 times. Just keep it going. And then all of a sudden he shows up at CD Martini's. He's looking at me across the bar, and he's with his brother. And I think, I don't know what's going on, but I don't want these guys telling people in there that I buy crack off them. Because the last thing I want the mob thinking is that I use crack. Same with the Hells Angels. They don't appreciate it. It's not something they associate with. They'll sell it, but they don't want you using it because you're easy to turn.
Yeah.
So I went outside. I got out, went outside for a smoke, and I'm just borderline whether I just leave, jump in my car and go. I just got that feeling. And then they come out through the other door and they come onto the patio area. And one of them says, "Hey, cop." And I went, "What?" And then, boom, somebody hit me from behind. I can take a punch, but that guy rocked my world, the one that hit me from behind. I turned expecting Tyson or Holyfield or some other monster there. And it was just some skinny little kid. He just caught me right. I managed to stay on my feet. We fought for... There was 4 of them in the end. We fought for maybe 9 minutes, 10 minutes, which is a long time. Oh, fuck, man. Seriously, it was a battle.
Wow.
They pulled knives. They threatened they had a gun. I never saw a gun. And then it sort of petered out because I clipped one and then I clipped another and there was only 2 left. They were picking themselves up and it sort of teetered out and they went to walk away. And he said something stupid like, "Don't bring a knife to a gunfight," or something like that. I thought, I don't even have a knife. And I managed to get to the apartment. And once in the apartment, I phoned through to the handler. I said, "Listen, did you hear that?" He's like, "No, your wire's down." Okay, great.
Oh, great.
It was always down. I phoned through to the handler. I told him very calmly, he said, "Okay, stay there. What we'll do is we'll get a cruiser to come outside. The cruiser can sit there. We'll put it on come on, Paul. Brain's slow. We'll put it on a disturbance call. Tell them there's a disturbance so they don't know what's going on. And then you come out, get in the UC car, and then we'll debrief." Okay, fine. So I come out, and I'm all cut up and bruised by now. But I come out, he phones back, says, "The cruiser's outside. Come out, get in your car and go." So I'm like, "All right, fantastic." So I come out of the door, no cruiser. I come down the road, I turn left into the alleyway where the car is, and they're there waiting for me again, same guys. So then we fired again for about another 11 minutes. And then it got to a stage where I thought, these guys are going to kill me. They're really going to kill me. They're not giving up. They've got knives out now. And I think I broke a bottle. I grabbed a bottle off the table and I broke that. I said, "Right, step in, let's go." And I turned from being defensive and being an undercover police officer to somebody who needed to survive and get the fuck out of there. And I think when my attitude changed and the calmness and the fact that I thought, "Yeah, step in, I'm going to stab you." When I got to that stage, that's when they took off. But I'm there fighting with them, and a member of the cover team drives past, looks directly at me, and just keeps on driving.
What?
Oh yeah.
So basically, they
Bill, you should have read the book. You should have read the book. Yeah, they left me.
Don't worry, I'm gonna order.
This guy burnt me. He did. He looked directly at me, carried on driving, and then we carried on fighting for about another 5 minutes. And I was a bit of a mess afterwards because the "hey cop" thing threw me. It really, really threw me. Because by then everybody knew me. Everybody. I was all over town. Everybody knew the Englishman. Nobody knew my real name. I refused to tell people. And then it threw me, and so I went back to the debrief, and I think I was already struggling by then. I didn't trust Hamilton Police. I thought, now I was thinking we'd been sold out.